can hear the music. Woo! Wow, is that loud? All right, folks, we are back with you on a Saturday morning. We got a lot of good treats ready to roll your way. We're going to follow our normal standard format with our glitch in the vortex. We're going to use that every week. What's your glitch, dude? You got a glitch in the vortex. Huh? We'll start a fad like red shoes and the word awesome. I started that in 1988. The format for today is going to be, I've been so excited this week to talk about this. We are going to just totally talk about the numbers with He-Man. Master of the Universe is our prediction that I nailed 6 months ago, not to give it away, but I'm super excited to talk about that. We're going to run through that. We're going to hit on our feature of the day, John Krasinski, which very much like Ben Affleck, he's got a niche that he needs to stay in, and he's got one of the hottest wives in Hollywood. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Then we have our sleeper picks that we're going to go into that we're both pretty excited about. And then we are going to show Mark's miscasting disaster of Hollywood and how they just completely missed the mark by not putting Mark into the role. We're going to leave that as a surprise, as usual, for the end. So it's John here, Movie Killer Podcast. I got Mark, my co-host, with me as normal, and it's a beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning.
That was a long intro, John. I think longer. Yeah. So this is episode 21.
21, 22?
Yeah.
It's exciting. I never thought we'd make it past 5.
I did. I think like 100 would be the goal. I don't think it's easy, but I think, because at some point in time, people, just from a kind of a material and relevant standpoint, what you're talking about is somewhat relevant. I think it's relevant, but other people have to agree with us. That's my point.
We're going to do something special for episode 100. I'm not really sure what that is, but we'll come up with something.
I mean, we got to get to 25 and 50 first, because I think those are kind of milestone-ish. But yeah, I like the idea of doing something. Like we have to host somebody. That would be great. Ooh. If we can find somebody we could host on our 25th, 50th, we'll get there.
Yeah, and if anybody has any ideas or anybody has any relationships out there, I don't know, like I'd be happy with like a D-lister. Like, I don't know, like Jason Mewes from Jay and Silent Bob. Like I'd take Jay. He's like a D or E-lister, but people know who he is. He'd probably be pretty fun too, right?
Well, now he's not going to come on the show, and you just called him a D-lister.
Dude, he knows. That's no surprise.
Yeah. You think he has enough self-awareness to say, "Hey guys, I am what I am. I'll come on your show and I'll amuse you guys."
I think the only person who's out there who's a D-lister that doesn't know he's a D-lister is Ben Affleck. I think everybody else has complete self-awareness to know who they are.
Yeah.
All right. So I thought, because we were back on Saturday morning, I thought I'd air a little something for nostalgia for all the guys from our generation that are out there. So anybody who's watching live, which I think right now we have one viewer at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning. So this is for you. You have any guesses?
Do I have any guesses on what you're about to air?
Yeah. Saturday morning.
Oh, it's probably either some Saturday cartoon, matinee, something.
All right.
That's my guess.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, roll it.
Hi, time for timer, and time to make a week's supply of healthy
audio.
Snacks.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now some weekend
Let's go back
it's
to
raining and your mother is complaining. Hi, time for timer, and time to make a week's supply of healthy after-school snacks. Now some weekend when it's raining and your mother is complaining because you're hanging around just twiddling your thumbs. Tell your mom that you've been itching to make something in the kitchen, and oh yes, the mess will be a minimum.
Do you remember this?
But the thing that's going to please her is you make it in the freezer, and nothing could be
I'm going to say yes, but I'm struggling to remember. Maybe I purposely tried to forget this.
Just a few toothpicks. Okay, now take an empty ice tray and fill it up with orange juice or lemonade or pomegranate juice or whatever turns you on.
Whatever
Then
turns you on.
cover the tray with plastic wrap, carefully poke the toothpicks through the plastic, put it in the freezer, and in a few hours, presto, stacks of snacks. Don't wait until it rains before you try this nifty trick. You'll have a fun time making
I do remember.
You can fill that tray with whatever turns you on.
So speaking of that, the ice cube tray with the plastic. So my mom used to mix avocado and like a little bit of condensed milk and something else and make the little cube sticks. They were great. She made them like 1 or 2 times and then she stopped doing it. I was like, why would you stop making it? I mean, we eat it. It's not like we don't eat it. And she was like, hell with that. It takes too much time to make. And then she just abandoned it altogether. That's why that commercial I associate it with that, you know, my avocado pops.
With your
avocado.
mom depriving you of your special treats on Saturday morning.
Yeah, like why would she stop? Maybe if she watches this podcast, she'll be like, you know what, Mark, I have an answer. I will come on the cat. I will tell you why.
Dude, that's so racist.
Oh, it's my mom
talking like that.
Well, my mom speaks with an accent still.
All right, I guess it's not that.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our throwback to Saturday morning. I was thinking maybe a little Schoolhouse Rock, and then I was like, you know what? I like that really strange looking ball that used to tell me to eat sunshine on a stick. So let's throw it out there for all the kids who remember that. And a good way to start your Saturday morning, just like you did in 1978. I have no idea. Sometime back then.
Yes.
All right. Let's see what's going on Facebook. Oh, we got a couple likes already. We got a couple comments.
They like my avocado pops. You know what? Maybe.
I think people
John,
love Saturday morning.
No, John, maybe I do a little demo, like a little short feature, like a short, of my avocado pops.
No, this is Movie Killers. You got to make a video of you doing the avocado.
That's what I said. I said I should. No, that's why I said I should do like a little clip, a short, and then you can air it and be like, "Hey, this is the avocado pops that my mom refuses to make since 1981 or whatever."
All right.
He-Man. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the numbers in general. I think everything else has held steady. Prediction-wise, you like to brag about things. I understand because I like to do the same, which is why we probably do this podcast. But you did call it. I forget what I said. And this was like 3 months ago, I think you made this prediction. And I think once you aired the trailer, maybe you want to air the trailer again, I was like, I had mixed feelings because I was such a He-Man fan, you know, growing up. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, no, they just missed the mark on this. You know, it had so much potential. And then when you see the trailer, you knew it was just going to be another one of those just washed up version of the cartoon that didn't really, you know, it didn't move you in any direction. It's just like, let's just do it. Just, you know, let's just make the film just to make the film. That's what it felt like in the end.
Yeah. And to give you guys a little bit of background, I'm going to tell you a story. We're going to go back to the Wayback Machine to September 13th, 1973. And there was a baby born by the name of Travis Knight. Travis Knight is the son of Nike co-founder Phil Knight. And to kind of keep the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, Ben Affleck played him in the Michael Jordan Air movie. So everything goes back to Ben Affleck and why things just suck. So Travis Knight's born in 1973. The kid has a dream. He wants to be a rapper. So he starts being a rapper under the name of Chili T. So Travis, I'm going to start hating on you pretty bad on this show. So if anybody listens, you're kind of my new target because you just stink, dude. And even though you've had 3 Academy Award nominations, you haven't won. And the only thing you got awarded for was Kubo and the 2 Strings, which was pretty cool. But you went way downhill from there. So for anybody who doesn't know, Travis Knight is the director of Masters of the Universe. And if you look at his list of messes that he's gone through and the things that he started and hasn't been able to finish, I kind of look at it as the rich kid who, you know, came in under Phil Knight and said, you know what? I'm going to be a rapper. No, I don't really know what I'm going to do. What's the old, can't think of the guy's name, Kennedy, who did the movie about the rich kid who wanted to be a rapper and just had no idea what was going on. I'll find that and I'll throw that out there. But this movie is doing terrible. And I can't believe anybody gave this guy money. And I'd love to go back to the studios and be like, what were you thinking? But this movie had a budget of approximately $200 million. We called it out. It's going through the first week. It's rolling into the second week. Total revenue to date globally, not domestic, globally, 62.7 million.
Wow.
In the second week, it already fell behind Scary Movie, which is a reboot of the Scary Movie that's been done 6, 7, 8 times. And it's already behind Scary Movie going into the second week. And if you look at it, it had a 68% drop off going from week 1 into week 2. So word of mouth, which usually if you saw a success, it goes up going into week 2 because word of mouth gets out. And they're like, okay, we got to go see this thing. It's already dropped off 68% into week 2. So with the amount of money that they put into this and everything they're going into, and the amount of estimation of the 45 to 54 age bracket that they were hoping to gain a lot of momentum from the nostalgia of He-Man in the 80s. And then, appealing to the teen audience with the action and everything else that's going in. This is not making it.
Total bust. Total bust. Yeah.
And it's no surprise, right? Like everybody's like, oh, it's a surprise. Like it's not a surprise, guys. Not a surprise.
Yeah. And the thing is, I thought about it. Did they wait too long to make the movie? And maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But I think the trailer, like for anyone, like myself, I watched every episode of this growing up. And when I saw the trailer, I was just like, why do they make it so damn whimsical? Like it wasn't that at all. Right? Like the cartoons were a little bit more hardcore than the trailer. And they I don't know, they just make it so watered down. And I was like so disappointed because this is one of those, like you could have made that somewhat it had the makings to be like a really, really good film with a potential to do sequels along the way. But I don't think so. Not anymore, right? I mean, there's no movie house would want to create a sequel from this. They would have to reboot this entire thing 10 years from now or 5 years from now because it just bad. Like, remember Transformers, for example? Like, I use that as a kind of a point of reference. I mean,
Transformers, the first one was great.
Yeah, but the difference is the director, right? Bruckheimer, right? That was the difference. And the way he did Transformers is the way they should have did He-Man. A little bit of like seriousness to it, a good story, just and then the all the special effects were just phenomenal back then when the first one came out. And that's where He-Man fell short. Like you have all this time, you have all this technology. I mean, shit, you can probably AI a movie better than that. It was that bad.
Yeah, and to your point, and you said this a couple weeks ago. I forget what we were talking about specifically, but you used the word whimsical, right? And Batman Begins to me is one of the greatest superhero, whatever category you want to put it in, movies that was ever made. There is nothing whimsical about Batman.
It's violence. There's a lot of violence. Like his dad got shot, right?
Yeah, like, people die, right? Yeah. Like it's no question. And then you keep moving forward. And Transformers, to your point, there's nothing whimsical about Transformers. It is a full-blown action movie with just great character development, just phenomenal. And to your point, Bruckheimer proved that that's the way it goes. And Christopher Nolan with Batman Begins.
Yes.
Now you got this whimsical nonsense, and we can quote the ones that go out, right? Speed Racer is, to me, is one of the all-time biggest bombs with so much potential that never did anything. Now you're doing the same thing with this Masters of the Universe. Like, guys, make a dark, serious movie. Like, if you take all the premise of Skeletor and how he used to be, the back history of Skeletor is, I think he was like the king's brother who, it's a very Shakespearean kind of thing going on there.
Yeah.
but his face is melted and he's in this crazy situation. Make that dark, make that scary. If you're appealing to the 45 to 54 audience that wants to go back and relive this from their childhood, dude, when you're playing with the action figures are jumping on each other and killing each other and stabbing each other with swords. They're not dancing around with Nicholas Galitzin and the nonsense that's going on, who's way too pretty to play this stuff. It's not good. It's terrible. It was a bomb from the start. And I'm going to rant for another second and then I'll stop. But I love Camila Mendez. Love her. She's got so good. She was in Riverdale and just so much opportunity for this girl. And to jump into this with so much enthusiasm, and I've talked about this, but if you watch her TikToks and stuff that she does and all her social media, she has so much enthusiasm for what she's doing.
Right.
Like don't let this movie, if you ever listen to this or a clip gets sent to you or you see something on TikTok, don't let this movie influence you. You did a phenomenal job in this movie. You were just surrounded by a bunch of knuckleheads that could not bring you up to your potential. You keep doing what you're doing and being yourself, because this movie is a failure in spite of you.
Yeah.
Versus, anything else. Like you're great.
Yeah. You know what? In my last comment to that, because you were talking about like Man of Steel, Batman, great. I mean, just masterpieces in terms of like cinema. Like superhero turn cinema material. But with this movie, it felt like it was what James Gunn did to Superman, right? You took Man of Steel and you take Superman 2025. And I remember reading some article when Superman in 2025 came out. They said James Gunn's approach to bringing a more human and relatable take of the Man of Steel. I'm like, dude, he's not human. So why, let's, right. There's nothing relatable. I mean, this guy's got superpowers. And then, I don't know if you saw Superman 2025. I was like, I almost walked out. I was like, this is just bad. Like bad. All these other characters in there were just like dorky. And then they had these super villains that were like these big cartoon blobs. I'm like, come on, man. This is a disgrace. It's going to be the franchise.
Thing. It's going to be the same thing with Supergirl. It's going to be this.
I hope not.
I hope not too. I hope they make it much more serious, but that's my concern.
Yeah, and like stick to Guardians of the Galaxy. Like don't carry over that theme into everything else, every other project you do. Like it works for Guardians of the Galaxy, I get it, but not for Superman.
No, and I think James Gunn. There's these two schools of thought. I think James Gunn's a little bit of a douchebag anyway, so he's not on my He's not on my short list for my all-star team. I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, I will give him Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that for those characters, that worked, but you can't apply the same, ingredients and recipe to every single project you touch. It just does not work.
Yeah. And the other thing that's interesting to go back to He-Man. So Travis Knight's whole background is all animation, right? Yeah. So he did Paranorman, which I thought was interesting, had a good storyline, but it ripped off this other movie that I can't think of the name of, but I'll throw that out so you guys will have it. But it's just a cartoon ripoff of this other movie that was done. And then Box Trolls, Kubo and the Two Strings. Like he's done all this animation, and his background is an animator. Like he got started as an animator and then kind of elevated himself from there. And I think part of the problem is he went into this Masters of the Universe movie thinking of it as a cartoon and thinking of it as an animator, where like Bruckheimer went into Transformers thinking of it as I'm going to make this, kick-ass action film. And it's just two different approaches. And I'd love to be a fly on the wall when Travis Knight went in and they chose him or he pitched this movie as like a live action animated cartoon. Yes, Travis, Chili T. That's genius. We're going to do that. And you know what? We're going to put Nicholas Galitzin in there as He-Man. What a mess.
Yeah. Well, so we're at 62 million worldwide going into week 3. Is that?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. This thing will be, my prediction, this thing will be on Prime or something in the next 2 weeks. And then the clock stops, folks, and I'm keeping your $5 because the deal was as soon as it went to, online, the clock stops. So I can't keep it. I can't keep the streaming zombie going forever, right? I got to stop it at some point. But I do appreciate the donations you guys made to me for the $5, but maybe I'll get you a shirt anyway. We'll see how I'm feeling. But to go back to your point for Guardians of the Galaxy, I think a lot of that has to do with just the casting in general, right? And this goes back to my hating on James Gunn, and I'm trying to find it real quick, but the casting director on that movie just absolutely knocked it out of the park. I mean,
oh God, yeah,
bringing in Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana and all those guys. Yeah, really, really good job. All right, we're gonna move into the star of the day. What are your thoughts? All right, so let me switch gears. So our star of the day is Mr. John Krasinski. Let me give you a little background on Johnny. John is born in Newtown, Massachusetts, 1979. He went to Brown University where he started acting and broke into TV in 2000 to 2002 and jumped into The Office in 2005, which, everybody knows The Office ran forever, came in from the UK, but I think that really made him who he is today. I mean, he was fantastic in that. I do have a couple clips from that just had me laughing out loud with some of the nonsense that went on that show. And more famously, which I have a good clip, which is very funny from him. Like, he's a funny guy, right? This is not a bash on John Krasinski as a person. He's super likable. But when we start going through the revenue numbers and what this guy's able to do in the movies, and he's a great director, great actor, good voice actor. He's done a ton of voice work, which we'll talk about a little bit as well. But his box office numbers just don't make money. He needs to kind of avoid that.
You know what's interesting though, when I read about Krasinski, he actually considered quitting acting before landing the Jim Halpert role. I was like, wow, that was like a long time ago. You considered quitting then. But in interviewing when he interviewed for that role, it was reported that the producer asked him what he thought of the British version of The Office. And he said, in quotes, he said, honestly, Americans tend to ruin these opportunities. So he didn't know if that would hurt him or help him, but ultimately, obviously, it helped him land the role. But I thought that was an interesting, because what I like about Krasinski, he's pretty direct and he's pretty honest. And I think you heard about the one scene or episode that he declined to do because it kind of questioned the friendship he had. He was like, no, I'm not going to do that scene because it would compromise his friendship with, I forget her name, but I was like, man, this guy's like legit, man. But yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think once he transitioned from TV to film, I will get into it, but without A Quiet Place, there is nothing. It's non-existent almost, like in terms of any type of commercial success or strong ROI. Without A Quiet Place, it's just non-existent.
Yeah, and what's interesting is from a movie perspective, he started, and I actually watched this, and it's really bad. Like it's one of those movies that's so bad that you watch it and you laugh, but you're laughing at the movie and not with the movie. Mm-hmm. But he was in a movie called Leatherheads, which is about, old football kind of deal, which George Clooney's in. It's from Universal Pictures. It was released in 2008. But to put it into perspective, I mean, the budget on that was $58 million and worldwide revenue was 41. And I'm just going to rattle through like his first couple movies, right? So, and some of these you've never heard of. I guarantee you've never heard of these movies.
Probably.
So, Away We Go, Promised Land, 13 Hours, and The Hollers, right? I'm going to stop there because then there's a big jump there and I'll explain why. So, and I'll just read the numbers. Production budget for one, 17 million, made 58. Next one, production 15 million, made 11. Next one, 50 million, made 69. The final, Sony Pictures production budget, 3.8, call it 4 million, small budget, only made $1 million. So this is his whole movie history up until he drops into, world-class blockbuster, people are writing books about it, A Quiet Place. And Quiet Place really broke him out of the other craziness that he was dealing with from just not not making any money. And Quiet Place, as an example, had a production budget of about 17 million and came in globally at just under 341 million. So, I mean, that thing shattered the trend of what he was going into up until that point.
Yeah, but the background with A Quiet Place, though, I mean, he started developing that script years before it actually got produced. Like, he created it, directed it, he started it, and he produced it. So, you know, when we talk about like one-hit wonders, I mean, that was his project. That's why I give him a lot of credit, because he was like, you know, I don't know what he was thinking, but he had this project in his head that he was working on for quite some time. It turned out to be like a massive hit for him. But you take that away, and then we're not knocking Krasinski, but I think he's a good dude, and I enjoy watching his work as well. But Quiet Place was all his, man, and he just completely knocked that one out of the park. I give him a lot of kudos to that. But you take A Quiet Place, you take the data from A Quiet Place and his last 10 films or so, it's all losses.
Yeah, terrible. And
yeah,
one of the things that I was reading that I thought was interesting in is the movies that were made before that, there had to be some sort of audience interest. And what I mean by that is Promised Land is primarily about fracking, and there's a lot of environmental components around that.
Yes.
If you try to appeal to an audience that doesn't care about fracking or doesn't even really understand what fracking is, you're not going to go see it, right? And when Krasinski put together A Quiet Place and he sold it to the studios and got everything that he needed to make this, it was a very simple premise. And it was, if they hear you, they will hunt you, right? And those are his lines that he used as part of trying to sell this movie and present this movie.
Yeah.
So you go from like geopolitical military history of 13 hours to, if they hear you, they will hunt you. And man, people bought into it, and it sold and just absolutely did phenomenal. And one more point real quick, and then I'll stop. If you compare it to Masters of the Universe from a revenue perspective, and we were talking about the 68% drop in revenue for Masters of the Universe, Quiet Place did like 150% increase between week 1 and week 2. So this movie went out, was kind of and let's call it independent, but a smaller budget breakthrough for John Krasinski. And when people went and saw it, they were like, holy crap, like, look at this thing. And the huge jump going into week 2. So just a big difference in trend of what word of mouth can do to a movie going into week 2. So
yeah, I mean, the numbers are staggering, right? The budget of 17 million for A Quiet Place, and it grossed 341. Like, that is insane. Yeah. And the fact that, you know what I liked about that movie?
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt was phenomenal. But the scene where they had their young child, right? Yeah. And then, I think they dropped sand on their path to and from, to the town and back to where they sheltered. And, their one son picks up that little toy, the airplane toy. Mm-hmm. They said, don't touch this because, you'll probably get killed. And he's just like, no. And then he ends up taking the toy. And I was like, there's no way this kid is going to like perish in this movie. And he does. I was like, holy hell, right? Like, this almost never happens. And that's why I think from that moment in the movie, I was just glued. I was like, look, if they can lose the kid, I mean, who else is, a target here?
And they lose him.
Yeah.
Like the main guy, he's gone at the end.
Yeah. Well, he did it for the right cause to save his daughter. Yeah. Yeah. I thought I liked that film a lot. Quiet Place 2, I liked it. Yeah. You know what? There was 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
The third, there was a prequel.
Yeah. The prequel, the beginning.
Yeah. I like 1 and 2. The third one was, the one shot in New York. It was good though. I think that was good.
Yeah. And to your point, the other thing that, you can relate to, I can relate to, anybody who has kids can relate to, is making that sacrifice for the kid, right? So you're sitting there and it's such a simple premise. And this goes back to my horror genre in general. Like, don't overcomplicate it. Yeah. Farmhouse in the woods,
Yes.
Not a lot of scenery. You don't get a lot of shots of the creatures, the aliens, whatever you want to call them. Like so there's not a lot of crazy special effects that go involved in this. And then you have, if they hear you, they'll get you, and protect the family, right? Like, would you sacrifice yourself in that situation to save your family?
Yeah,
and
like that's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, of course you would. You wouldn't even think about it. You jump right in. And if any of you parents are out there saying you wouldn't jump right in, you're bad parents. So I just want to throw that out there for anybody who's listening. I'm, I wouldn't even think about it. I would jump right in there and do what I had to do. And you can relate to that. You love it.
Yeah. I mean, you're in your head. You're like, oh, this sucks, but this is what I mean. This is this is our role, right? This is our role in life. I'm like, why would you go in there? But yeah, I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was a surprisingly, I liked it a lot. Going into it, I was, you're thinking another horror flick with aliens that want to exterminate the human population, but it was I thought it was really well done.
Well, I think it goes back to know your spot, know your lane, stay in your lane, and do what you have to do, right? So I think Krasinski in general is a pretty good director, right? Maybe he's a better writer by coming up with the premise of The Quiet Place and everything that went along with that.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, if you take A Quiet Place out of the equation, and I'll give A Quiet Place 2, right? Because there was so much traction associated with The Quiet Place, it kind of bled right into Quiet Place 2. But if you take the Quiet Place franchise out of his numbers, I'm sorry, John, you're a big loser, right? And I don't know if that comes in just from directing, writing, everything else, but I'll give everybody the one-hit wonder that goes along with it, except for Travis Knight, who's had nothing in his career. But I would say staying in your lane. He's a great voice actor, and he's great on TV. So I would say, to me, the lane that John needs to stay in is, go off and do your voice acting. For everybody who doesn't know, he was Sir Lancelot in Shrek. So once you watch it again and you'll hear his voice, you're like, holy crap. In Shrek the Third, he's Sir Lancelot. He's also in Monsters vs. Aliens. He's in Monsters University. So he's done a lot of voice work along the way. He's one of the gamers in Free Guy. I'm probably like one of 5 people in the world that like Free Guy, but he does a voice cameo in Free Guy, but a lot of voice work. And then to go into The Office and how successful The Office was, Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime, incredibly successful. So I'm thinking, look, John, my advice to you, stay out of the movies. Great job with The Quiet Place. Stick with TV. And I include online, the series streaming on cable, whatever you want to call Prime TV. But stay with the series, stay with those shows. You crushed it with The Office. You're crushing it with Jack Ryan. All right. You want a clip of The Office, or you want a clip of a very funny interview that he did talking about just his ability to laugh at himself? I'll give you a choice.
Yeah, let's go with the interview. I don't think I've seen that.
All right. I'm gonna play it, and then it's gonna be silenced because I gotta jump. The interviews itself is about 8 minutes, but there's like a minute in the middle that's very funny. So I'm gonna start it. All right, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And how's your wife, the beautiful Emily Blunt? We
Fantastic.
love Emily.
Fantastic. That reaction means I married up, and don't I know it?
I know.
Don't I know it?
Oh, we didn't say you married up. No,
no.
I think it's a good.
Please, they don't have to tell me. The customs agent in London did.
This is great.
I don't know if you know, Emily just shot a movie. It's a small indie called Mary Poppins. And I went to visit her all the time. I was shooting something else, but I went almost every weekend. And it was going great. The customs, whole experience is whatever.
You got to get through customs.
Yeah. And then I hit this guy who's about my age, and he looked like he was ready to get a little surly with me. And he said, says here that you're an actor. And I said, yeah. And he said, would I know you from anything? And I went, we redid the UK version of The Office. Strike one. He was like, oh,
I hated that version.
You took what we did perfect. And then I said, yeah. And he says, who are you visiting here? I said, my wife. And he says, is she an actress? And I said, yeah. He said, would I know her? And I don't know, man. Her name's Emily Blunt. He goes, you?
Love that.
And I went, yeah. And he goes, you married Emily Blunt. And I go, yeah. And he goes like this. Okay, go. Just go. Like the stamp was so hard. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Not breaking eye contact, like following you out.
Is that
That's
great?
I did see that. I mean, that's what makes him so likable. Like he's not full of himself. He's just very candid.
Yeah. I think of like Colin Jost, right? Like everywhere they go, like you married Scarlett Johansson, and then he's got her with, well, stunning, incredible actress, Emily Blunt. But Edge of Tomorrow is one of my all-time favorite
Oh my
movies.
God.
Like,
Yeah.
it's my top 10 for sure. And she's phenomenal in that. So I have something on my face, soldier. Like I love her in that. She's so good.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
Unfortunately for her, she's got another big bomb this summer with Disclosure. But all right, go ahead.
So I'll touch on that. I'll circle back to that because I'm glad you brought that up. But so the argument is, does he ROI? He has kind of a mixed bag in terms of his his history, right? As a producer, actor, director, he's elite, right? His ROI is elite, but you only have essentially one project, one franchise, Quiet
Right.
Place. Is he a movie star? No, he's not a movie star, right? Because the numbers just the numbers don't add up, and there's no consistency there. But here's the thing, you talk about the one-hit wonder. I mean, this was like a 2-hit wonder, 3-hit wonder, but he made an absolute killing. So he got it right. Like he doesn't have to do anything else, right? Like for the rest of his career, The Quiet Place just cemented his legacy in film. And that's that. Like he doesn't have to do a project again. Like he can be like Chris Pratt. He'll be like, look, if you want me, I'll do it for 20 million. I don't know how the movie's going to perform, but if you look at his data, his body of work outside of A Quiet Place, it's in the negative.
Yeah.
But so he's not a movie star, but I think he's, for what he did in The Quiet Place, it's enough for an entire career. Like he just absolutely killed it there.
Well, the other thing that's interesting is if you look at Prime, all the documents, all the data and everything I can find, Prime ranks 3 shows as their top 3 series
Jack
of
Ryan.
all time in the history of Prime.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to get you nailed. Jack Ryan, we're talking about him. I'm bringing it up. So it's got to be one. So take a guess at the other 2 that Prime considers its top 3 pillars of shows on its platform, on its network.
Wow. There's so many.
Top 3. Everybody's yelling at their screen right now.
Really? I don't hear them. I'm going deaf. I don't want to even take a guess.
All right. So The Boys, right?
Really?
Everybody knows The Boys. You can't go anywhere without talking about The Boys and people know what you're talking about.
I'm a loyal fan of The Boys, but I'm surprised that's up there.
Yeah. Boys in Gen V and all the spinoffs and everything they're doing. Like The Boys is top 3. Reacher.
Oh,
So
I watched all. I watch all 3 of them. No kidding.
Those are the 3 pillars of Prime right now. Jack Ryan, The Boys, and Reacher are their top 3 shows. They have solidified the foundational series of Prime. Those 3 shows.
Shocker. That's a shocker.
And Jack Ryan, when it came out, it debuted in 2018. It captured 40% of all Prime views. 40%.
That's incredible.
The month that it debuted.
Yeah.
So he translated well into that TV character, right? So I think he just he stays where he needs to stay. I mean, and there's a metric that says by season 4, it's pulling in 1.2 million views for each 4, 5, 6, 7, however many seasons there are. There's 1.2 million, 1.2 million views the first week.
Yeah. And I think he talked about his role as Jack Ryan. He did a 4-season, basically a contract, and when it ended, it ended, and that was it. But here's a thing about, like he talked about Jack Ryan, massive streaming hit, doesn't translate, and it doesn't prove any like theatrical star power. None.
No.
Right.
No. And even they took his next movie, which is Jack Ryan Ghost War, which I have a clip for.
Mm-hmm.
And they're releasing that on Prime. Like, that's not going into the box office. So he's probably better off staying away from the box office right now and focusing on that TV career. And even if he does movie release, just release it to streaming, right? You can make a whole career out of that.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. I mean, can you think of another more successful one-hit wonder than A Quiet Place? So
that's a good topic. We should do a topic on that, on one-hit wonders, and just go through and pick like.
Yeah, and when I say one hit, I mean like a franchise. Call it a franchise or whatever. Is it a franchise? I guess we could call it a franchise.
Yeah, I mean, Blair Witch is one that jumps out. I mean, the guys who did Blair Witch just absolutely blew the box office up, and then I don't know if they've done anything after that.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, but I mean, just a one-hit wonder like that would be interesting, because I can't think of anything that is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and the ROI is just incredible. So, is he genius or is he just lucky? And then this one franchise basically made his entire career.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's people who have this whole, like, you spend 10 years, I don't know how many years he did, but if you spend years focused on one project, and that's so loud, dude. And then you take
that, my sound effects. That was just all sound effects.
That starts your Bollywood dance. That's how the Bollywood starts. They do a little rattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little side to side action.
So if you took like, see, you totally distracted me. I don't even know what I was saying.
My side to side action? Well, you're talking about
side to side in your rattle.
Okay, we are talking about the one hit wonder franchise from a franchise perspective, and then you were starting with something.
I don't know. I'm going to jump to a clip.
Wow.
All right. I'm going to go right into Jack Ryan Ghost War. You want that? Oh, you know what? Let's play this. You want Jack Ryan Ghost War? All right.
Yeah.
So you leave the CIA, you get yourself a nice civilian job.
Are you kidding me?
It's good to see you.
The other thing that's crazy is in The Office, and I'll show a clip from The Office.
I just need you to meet a guy.
It's like frumpy.
No.
You know what I mean? He's got like dad bod going all day. And then you look at him in Jack Ryan and some of the other movies he did, and when he did
Jacked.
Yeah, he's jacked.
Yeah. Dude, I know that. I went through that transition. Did you not pay attention to my Bollywood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no more dad bod there. Look, like James Bond meets Indiana Jones, like the whole thing going. It's badass.
Put your hands up. Put them up.
Jack
Ryan, I'm sure you're about to tell me that you're a civilian.
Because I am.
What do you know about Starling?
Do you mean an unsanctioned black ops team? Specifically designed for psychological warfare, assassinations?
Shut it.
Starling, that's a good name.
But Starling has been resurrected. They're intelligent. They're dangerous. And they'll do exactly what we trained them to do.
The storm is coming.
You ready?
Let's go cause an incident.
When you're being attacked, the rules change.
What's the difference?
See, looks badass, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Oh, shit. Let's do it.
Maybe it's you.
See, that's something fun on Prime, right? I'll sit and watch that. If I want to get up, I want to get some food, I'll get some food. I'll go. If I I'm going to spend, to your point, $25 a ticket, $8 hot dog, take the family. I just dropped $100 to go see that in the theater. I don't know if back to our metrics, I don't have a willingness to pay.
That's what it comes down to. Do you want to separate with your funds to go watch that? And watching that clip, I think for me, Krasinski doesn't strike me as an action star. So that's why it just, for me, it's not, I mean, I'll watch a streaming series all day, but I'm not going to pay money Well, even though I pay for a streaming service, but I have,
Right.
I have a lot of options.
Yeah.
But here's something, it's a singular decision to say, hey, I'm going to spend $50 to go watch that. To me, he just doesn't strike me as a movie action star. So, you put Brad Pitt in that movie, I'll probably go watch it. I hate to say that because, Brad Pitt fanboy, but I'll go watch it. Not Krasinski.
No, I'll watch that on Prime.
Yeah.
Right.
And what's interesting? I mean, the last thing I'll say about The Quiet Place, he originally, all he wanted to do was, he created and everything. He wrote it, but he only wanted to direct the movie. So when he read the script and he was discussing it with his wife, Emily, he decided, he changed his mind. He was like, and decided to take the lead role. And then interestingly, Emily Blunt she was reluctant to do the movie as well. I thought that was like, man, like husband and, because they've been married since 2010, something like that.
Yeah,
they've been married for a long time.
Yeah. And what's interesting is in his role in that, I mean, he's likable Jim in that point, right?
Yes.
He's he's a good dad character, but
yes,
this goes back to, you could have stuck me and you in there and just run around and probably been just as personable and just as charismatic for that role. Like it wasn't like he didn't make you cry. He wasn't overly acting. He just did his normal Jim facial expressions, and you like him and you feel bad for him. And
no, I agree. You could have stuck really any average actor in there because that's all that role was, like just a suburban father who got caught up in, an alien invasion, and you kind of do what you got to do to survive. So yes, I don't know if you and I could have played that. Maybe like in my Bollywood like in my Bollywood fitness, like physique, I probably could have played that role much better.
I think we could have done it.
I probably could have saved the kid because I would have tackled the monster.
Yeah. A little faster on your feet than big lumbering dad bod Krasinski. This is before he got into his Navy SEAL shape, I think.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go. I can't talk about Krasinski and have a whole episode without an office. We can't go back into, without having a Krasinski, right? Without having a Dwight Schrute.
Yes.
Office clip. All right, you ready? This is the clip that had me laughing out loud because it's so ridiculous, and I haven't watched this show in years, so I forget how funny the nonsense was within this show. But
here's what's going to happen: I am going to have to fix you, manage you on a more personal scale.
Have you seen this episode?
More micro form of management.
I didn't see every single episode, but I'm pretty sure I saw this one.
Boom.
Yes.
Now Jim is going to be the client. Dwight, you're going to have to sell to him without being aggressive, hostile, or difficult. Let's go.
All right, fine. Ring. Hello? Hello, this is Dwight Schrute from the Dunder Mifflin Paper Company.
Wow, that's great, because I need paper.
Excellent, then you are in luck, because we are having a limited time offer only on everything.
Wow, this is my lucky day.
Yes, it must be. What is your name, sir?
I am Bill Buttlicker.
Really, that's your real name?
How dare you? My family built this country, by the way.
Be respectful, Dwight, please.
Yes, Michael.
Could you hold on one second? That's my other line. What?
No, but I...
Hello? Yeah. No, I'm just on the phone with this stupid salesman. He's so dumb. Probably just going to keep him on the line forever and not buy anything. Okay.
It's up to you to change his mind.
Sorry. That was a family emergency.
Oh, no. What's wrong?
You know what? That's private.
Boundaries, Dwight. Come on.
I'm sorry, Mr. Buttlicker. As I was saying, we're having a limited...
Speak up a little bit louder. I'm hard of hearing.
He's hard if he's an old man.
Okay. As I was saying, right now we are having...
Talk louder.
Okay. Our prices have never been lower.
Son, you have to talk louder.
Never been lower.
Louder, son!
Buttlicker! Our prices have never been lower!
Okay, stop it. That is totally inappropriate. You never yell at the client.
Now, you listen to me, sir.
Here we go.
The 3 words I would describe you as is aggressive, hostile, and definitely difficult.
Please, Mr. Buttlicker.
I'm irate right now.
Give me the phone.
Please give me
He's
another
irate.
chance.
Give me the phone.
Mr. Buttlicker.
Give me the phone.
I have to put you on with my boss.
Well, I should hope so. Who is this?
Hello, this is Michael Scott, regional manager.
Well, this is William M. Buttlicker.
Hello, Mr. Buttlicker. How may we help you?
Michael, I like the sound of your voice. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy $1 million worth of paper products today.
See how it's done? Thank you very much, sir. I don't think you'll regret it. See what I did?
You're the master. There is one condition, Michael.
Yes.
You have to fire the salesman that treated me so terribly.
Don't do it, Michael.
Done.
It's $1 million sale.
I love that. He's so good in that show. So good.
So before he went to Hollywood, just a quick factoid. He taught English in Costa Rica. He spent several months there after high school before attending Brown University.
I did not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. This is where you get this, you don't hear about or learn about some of these like trivia type questions about, our characters or whoever we talk about on a weekly. You only hear it here on the podcast.
Yeah. We're all about the facts.
Who else knows about that?
Just us.
Yeah. So have we concluded with our summary of Krasinski?
Last question.
Yeah.
Mendoza Line. Where do you put him?
So, our Mendoza Line, I gave it some thought too. You know how we started off with your boy Ben, right?
Yeah, he's the baseline.
He's the baseline. Do we factor in everything, like producer work, actor work? Like we almost have to, right? Because it's their entire career. We can't.
Agreed. I mean, Ben's a 0 because he's a great director. If he wasn't such a great director, he'd be like a -3, right?
Yeah.
Like you gotta put it all in there.
Yeah. So Krasinski, everything outside of A Quiet Place made no money theatrically.
Yeah.
He had streaming, he had a great series with The Office. He had a great series with the hell? I just lost my train of thought.
Jack Ryan.
Yes, Jack Ryan. But none of that ever carried over to a theatrical commercial success other than A Quiet Place. So if you factor that all in, I think as an actor, like acting ability, I would say it's probably good, right? He's not an elite actor, but he doesn't look wooden or mechanical when he's in front of a screen, and he's done it on the small screen and then on the big screen. So I would say from an acting perspective, he's probably in that 3-4 range. If you factor in all his commercial success, he had nothing but duds outside of A Quiet Place. But be that as it may, A Quiet Place exists, right? And it made an absolute killing. I mean, 20x for the first one, and I think 18x on the second one. So you factor all that in, like the entire. I mean, he's got to be a 4 or 5-ish. Got to be, right?
Yeah, I was thinking. It's so funny because I was thinking around a 3 for the same reasons, right?
Okay,
he's really, really good on TV. He's had a lot of success on TV, which now with Jack Ryan is translating into revenue for Amazon.
Yes.
To your point, he does have The Quiet Place. He's done a lot of voice work, so he's recognizable. There is a very, very low willingness to pay, right? I think with outside of The Quiet Place, I think that's been proven across the board. And even while we're sitting here watching the Ghost Recon or whatever the name of that thing is, like there's no willingness to pay.
Yeah.
Right. But he does have a lot of depth. He's pretty good director, pretty good writer.
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot of range, but he seems to get along well with his cast. I think cast chemistry and everything that goes along with that is one of the things that we've looked at. I mean, he's married to one, so I don't know if we can really count that in his biggest hit. But,
yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking around a 3.
Yeah. So the dilemma is like literally outside of like all of his commercial credibility comes from one property. Everything else was a bomb. So we might get flack to say, hey, you guys you talk about consistency. You talk about, when we factor the Mendoza Line. So I guess the question is, can one movie or a couple movies, like, can that change the dynamic of somebody's Mendoza meter? Just a single film alone?
Well, I think if you look at all the people that have been on that list so far, they all have one big hit. Like, I don't think we've picked anybody who hasn't had at least one theatrical success, right? So you have Kristen Stewart. She's got all the Twilight components. You got Chris Pratt. He's got Guardians of the Galaxy. You got Chris Hemsworth. He's got the whole Marvel franchise going. You got Ben Affleck, he's got The Town and Argo, and he's had a couple, and The Accountant. He's had a couple successes, but then he's had a whole stream of bombs. So I'm not going to read them all, but if you look at the whole list, everybody's had at least one theatrical hit, but we still score them accordingly, right? So,
okay, yeah, that's why I probably he probably should be closer to a 3-4, all things considered. Because if A Quiet Place didn't 20x, he's a 0, right? 0 or 1.
Yeah, he's just a strong TV actor. He's like Noah Wyle, right? Like Noah Wile's great on TV, but he can't make a movie, but he stays in his lane. He just keeps doing TV, right? So I think we put him in that same category. All right.
So I think 3. I think a 3 is I think that's fair, all things considered.
Okay. And just throw it out there in case anybody forgot in the last 55 minutes, Masters of the Universe, big bomb.
Huge.
Travis Knight sucks.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to go into our sleeper pick. We're going to roll through those. I have a good sleeper pick.
Yeah. You called my sleeper pick really a non-sleeper pick as more of a blockbuster. But until yesterday, I had no idea that this was even coming out. I mean, with one of the biggest movie stars ever in Hollywood.
Do you want to do a premise, or you want me to show the clip first?
Yeah, let's air the clip, and then I'll talk about the backstory. It's actually interesting. So
all right, I'm going to roll it. And any feedback you guys are as our viewers, does this categorize as a sleeper pick once you guys get a chance to watch? Right? All right, Here we go.
Yes.
Put it there, pal. Damn, you're handsome.
Who's this actor? Is he like an unknown? He's ready to break through?
Yeah. Doesn't look familiar.
It's okay. Come on. Just a bad dream. We're not there anymore.
You are the first person I've ever seen this far out. What kind of line of work are you in, James?
Army Special Forces retired.
Hey, did I notice some silver in your dog's mouth?
Owen was a combat scouting dog. Target hit him in the mouth with a brick.
Same asshole get his leg?
Yeah.
I hope you gave that fella a piece of your mind.
I shot him in the head.
He shot him in the head! This region here is the heart of the beast. Most folks learn that the hard way.
Good job, buddy. We're just gonna have to do this the hard way. You can do it. I got you. Easy, fella. We can still do this. We've been through worse.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight that matters. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
No, you did not. One last mission. We're not gonna die out here. Buddy,
I got you.
Looks good.
Right?
Yeah, that's real good.
So, I mean, just watching the trailer, you already have an idea what the premise is. It's a ex-Special Forces officer and his combat dog. After a plane crash, they're stranded deep in the Alaskan wilderness, even though it was not shot in Alaska. Little trivia. It was actually shot in New Zealand.
I love New Zealand.
Yeah. So they were, they're battling to survive. You know what's interesting about this? This was a novel based on the true story of the Weatherford family. How about that? That was it. Yeah, it was based on it was loosely based on a true story. I was like, I didn't know that. But here we are. But yeah, it was shot in New Zealand.
Very cool. Yeah, that looks great. I'm definitely going to go watch that. When's the release for that? Do you know?
It is going to be September 25th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Definitely going to go watch it.
Yeah, anytime there's like right, I feel like any movie that has an animal usually does well. Just because, right? Like there's so many animal lovers out there in the universe. Like remember there was another movie that was similar, not similar, but there was a dog and Channing Tatum. Do you remember seeing that one? Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a high score. I'm like, and I saw the movie. I was like, okay, it wasn't. I don't think I would agree with such a high marks on the reviews, but I was like, it's a feel good movie. This is one of those, but I think this is one of those a little bit more hardcore, with them trying to survive the elements, which.
Yeah, I love all those survival movies though, like where you have to go through and survive in the wilderness and all that. I love that stuff.
Yes.
There used to be a show on the Weather Channel called 3 Fat Guys in the Woods. And the survival guy would just take 3 guys off their couch and drop them in the woods and give them like a day of survival training. And then like send them in 3 separate directions. And then they had to survive for 24 hours. And then he would come like check on them. It only lasted like maybe a season. But if you want to look at 3 Fat Guys.
I think because of the risk element of it, right? Like people were almost close to death. Like if I remember the right series, like somebody almost died there.
Almost. They made it. Bring the show back. I love it.
I guess. All right. What's your sleeper pick?
All right. So let's play my clip and then we're going to go.
You know what? You should do a sleeper pick before you roll it. That's like a non-horror genre.
Yeah, non-horror. Non-horror.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yeah. Take that, bitch.
Oh, I'm excited now.
Non-horror. All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, before I go on, I want to make something clear.
Okay.
I have a hunch you're not a fan of Facebook. But I am. I am here to help Facebook, not hurt it, okay?
You send me a message. What would you like to talk about?
The bear.
The chairman gavels the session to order. You'll read your opening statement, which we'll skip past for now. That's a separate session. And we'll move to witness questioning.
Spell your name and state your current occupation for the record.
MARKZUCKERBERG.
And your occupation?
I'm a professional defendant.
I ran classifiers on political groups where 30% of content hits multiple risk factors.
Hang on, I don't understand what you're saying.
Aren't you a tech reporter?
Ish.
Ish?
These guys are counting on the next round of congressional testimony to make you likable, Mark. I'm happy to lend a hand, but I think you're doomed.
Bill Burr. Love Bill Burr.
This company and that guy are playing an unprecedented role in our lives.
The fire hose of bad information you are injecting into the air supply is becoming jet-powered.
I'm a free speech absolutist. I'm not the one who's lying, and I'm not stopping them from seeing someone who is.
Anxiety, depression of teenage girls got worse as a result of time spent on the platform.
Senior leadership knows and is doing nothing.
I know there are easier enemies to make.
The Mafia would be an easier enemy to make.
So what would you need?
To stand up the story, the internal documents.
This is a material violation of my NDA.
We're twice as big as the biggest country on Earth. We're not frightened of Congress. We're post-government around here.
Please, let me quote that.
We have 102 hours to get everything.
She's going to get sued into small pieces.
I don't want to be made an example of by a guy with unlimited resources.
Harm, I promise you, is imminent.
Enough! People around here understand that when I say no, that's the end of the debate. I'm not 2 years out of a dorm room anymore, Charlie. Look around.
I don't know what the girl thinks she's doing.
She's disrupting.
Whoa.
Pretty deep, right?
That's going to hit deep. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Almost
Not horror.
scary.
Well, a little bit of horror, right?
Yeah. A little bit of reality too.
Yeah, 100%. So it releases October 9th. It's a direct response to The Social Network, which did really well. And the guy, Aaron Sorkin, is he's kind of releasing it as his companion piece. So David Fincher was the director for The Social Network, but this guy, Aaron Sorkin, who was the writer of Social Network, is going to do the writing and the directing for this one. Fincher said he's not coming back. But from a cast perspective, you got Mikey Madison, who won Best Actor for Anora. So she's coming back. Jeremy Allen White, the Bear, and Bruce Springsteen. Everybody knows him. Jeremy Strong, who plays Zuckerberg. He's from Succession, but he's had a lot of success. You got Bill Burr, who's coming in doing his whole thing. Star-studded cast, but like it's not getting a lot of hype right now for being released in October. You know, and I wonder if some of that is the social media aspect. Like they're just Zuckerberg's like, screw that. I'm not promoting that. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. What was the budget on that?
Let's see if I have that. $45 million.
See, that was your sleeper pick, and that budget was $45 million.
Have you heard of it?
I have not heard of it, but did you hear of Heart of the Beast?
I did, only because I saw the preview last week when we went to the movies. Up until that point, I hadn't heard of it.
So your budget of $45 million for that movie is more than my Heart of the Beast pick. That budget was, you want to take a guess?
15.
No, 40 million. Brad Pitt's probably like 20 million of that budget.
I thought you were going to surprise me like, hey, Brad Pitt's doing this for next to nothing because he's such a great guy. And I'd be like,
No, his asking price is minimum 20 million, 18 to 20 million at this point.
And the
career.
dog. And
Dog
J.K.
probably-
Simmons. J.K. Simmons was in that. He's great too.
Yeah. He is. He's man, he's been all over. But yeah, not a huge budget, so it's probably gonna make a decent amount of money. We should predict. But I mentioned earlier the other dog movie with Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
It was actually called Dog. That's why I couldn't remember. I was like, what the hell was that dog movie called?
Such a stupid name.
Dog? Just a...
Yeah. You know, Dog is the name of John Wayne's dog in Big Jake.
Is it?
Come on, dog. Yeah. You ever watch a good John Wayne movie, Big Jake?
No.
So this is based on the explosive true events surrounding the 2021 Facebook files leak. The narrative follows how Francis Hogan, sure I'm not saying that right, a brilliant young product manager grows deeply horrified by internal data showing the platform knowingly drives toxic engagement, division, and algorithmic harm to teen mental health.
Yes.
Risking everything, she copies tens of thousands of pages and aligns with Wall Street Journal journalist Jeff Horowitz, who was played by Jeremy Allen White, to expose the tech giant. And in a dual timeline, the clandestine operation to get the documents is aligned with Mark Zuckerberg, who's played by Jeremy Strong, preparing for the high-stakes congressional testimony in the wake of the January 6th Capitol riots. It shifts the story from how the algorithm was built to how the algorithm reshaped global democracy. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Gives you like what it's doing and then how it's affecting what's going on in the world.
But to your point, that's a very deep premise there. So
yeah. Which I think our general population, and I'm not talking about our viewers are extremely intelligent. I'm talking about the general population of the world. They're going to struggle with that. Like, I think that's too intellectual for a lot of people to go see.
Yeah, you mentioned that a while back. Like if movies, like if there's certain movies, I forget which ones you actually called out, that make people think too hard, you know, they're just there to get entertained. I don't think they want to get sucked into a rabbit hole of, you know, all the minutia around like the thought process of what the premise of the film is. Like Inception to me, right? Like you said that, I mean, I liked it, you liked it, but to a lot of people, they struggled with it because they're like, I don't get the deeper meaning of this. Like,
yeah, Inception, Tenet, like it goes back to Krasinski. If they hear you, they will hunt you, right? Yes. Keep it simple. Will the parents protect the kids? Keep it simple. Like this is pretty deep.
Yes, it might be a little too deep, but we'll see how it does. You know how when I was asking you, hey, how much do you think the budget was for the Heart of the Beast? You said 15 million, and you're way off.
Yep.
I'll tell you what was 15 million. The budget for Channing Tatum's dog movie in 2022. That budget was 15 million.
Yeah, because it's not good.
It made 85, so made some money.
Maybe for the dog.
Yeah, you root for the dog.
People like the dog.
Everybody always roots for the dog, and I thought the movie was meh, but it got a lot of good remarks, and it was probably swayed by the charmingness of the dog. But I think this one, the Heart of the Beast, I think this is going to be a little bit, I think it's going to be more gripping, more, that survival instinct kind of premise to it. I think I'll enjoy watching it.
All right, so I only got we're down to the final segment. I only got the ones we had before.
Okay, I thought I had sent that.
Oh,
to
you know what? I think I have. Let me see what I got. Kill time for a minute.
Well, while you're looking for that, so in our weekly episode from starting 3 weeks ago, we started airing my screen test clips. So this is just a little bit of a treat each week on, some insight to my background in filmmaking and as a wannabe actor. So I did some screen tests.
15 seconds of pure, unadulterated joy. Ready?
But you have heard of Captain Jack Sparrow. Can't do. Why is the run gone?
I think you could pull that off.
Right. There was like a ton of
your best one.
Yeah, a ton of makeup, the wardrobe, totally.
Yeah, I think you could look.
Dude, you can't even tell.
Oh, what's going on over there? You look a little spooked. I think you can pull that off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I felt like I would have been a perfect cast for that role. You know what's interesting about this movie? There was an interview with Keira Knightley.
I'll just leave that up there for everybody while we go through.
Yes.
Look at that.
There was an interview with Keira Knightley, and when they were doing, when they started rehearsing for the film, like she said, I read the script, and Jack Sparrow was just, he was just speaking like normally. All this other stuff that he did, Johnny Depp, like that was all improvised.
Yeah.
Like his mannerism and all that stuff. And she was like, when they started rehearsing, she was just like, she didn't know what to do at first. She was like, this is not part of the script. Like, we're just supposed to have a conversation, you and I. But he was like, just in that kind of strange character where he was like drunk, and she was like, she's like, I'm just blown away because like this was not part of the original script. So just roll with it.
I'm going to take you off the screen there, but you know what? Another thing that's really cool with that movie, a little bit of back to our viewers, really cool trivia. So when sailors are out to sea for a really long time and then they come on land, it said they have sea legs where they walk a little. They're used to the world swaying, and then they get on land and the world's not swaying anymore. So they have like a drunken walk. This is all Johnny Depp. When he's on land, he walks drunk, and when he's on the ships, he walks straight. So he basically took into the movie and said, I'm going to translate this whole sea leg thing onto land and see if anybody notices. But if you look at every movie, he's on the ship, he walks totally straight, no drunken walk. And when he's on land, he has a swaying drunken walk. Next time you watch the movie, pay attention to that. Isn't that cool?
That is awesome.
Yeah, a little bit of trivia there for you. All right.
That's why I rooted for him in his trial.
Miscast. Huh?
That's why I rooted for him in his trial, man.
Yeah. Well, you did good. That goes back to the social media and how you let it influence your decisions.
Sometimes, you know.
All right. Whatever gets you through the day.
Yeah, I for next week I'll be better prepared for that segment of the show, but the one next week is pretty good too.
Okay, done. All right, folks. So let's wrap up the show, and then I'll blast some music to you. But John Krasinski, 3 on the Mendoza Line. Great with TV, not so great in the movies. Had his one sleeper blast off. I don't know what else to call it. Blockbuster of The Quiet Place and Quiet Place 2. Obviously great in The Office and great in Jack Ryan. Does a lot of voiceover work, but does not have a lot of willingness to pay. The willingness to pay really drags him way down on anything else that he works on and anything else he does. Mark would have been an excellent Jack Sparrow. I would say of all the things we've seen so far and all the movies he was miscast in, I would give that to probably the number 1. Another good hair clip for you, though.
I think, but my only comment to that is I think with what your trivia there with the sea legs on land, I don't think I would have done that as good as Johnny Depp. However, everything else, I think I would have matched him, you know, in every respect.
Plus, with all the time you spent with Keira Knightley, there's no way she would have not just absolutely been distracted by you and not been able to focus on the movie. So,
dude, 100%. Like, how could you not? Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Once the makeup is on and my, I have the wardrobe going, like, I look very captainish. Soy Capitan.
Yes.
Yeah. Very Soy Capitanish.
All right, Captain.
Yeah.
Heart of the Beast, Brad Pitt, J.K. Simmons, big sleeper coming out. Looked great in the clip. And then Social Reckoning coming out in October. Kind of the sister movie supplement to Social Network, which did really well. And very big social commentary on what's going on. Maybe a little too intelligent for the world out there today. And Masters of the Universe, Travis Knight.
Total bomb.
Total bomb. You stink.
Yeah. No sequel to that. Needs a reboot.
Yeah. Needs a reboot, just like Speed Racer. We should do Speed Racer. Dark, gritty. It would be so good.
Oh, God. Yeah. I would. You know what they should have done instead of Speed Racer? This is my last comment. I know we're at the hour plus mark.
Yeah.
They should have done a feature film just on Racer X.
Yeah, they could have made him an integral part instead of the goofy little piece that he was in that show. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying they do Racer X, you know, his bro from, you know, I mean, you saw a glimpse of that in the cartoon, but you do a movie just on Racer X, Dark, and then you do Speed Racer.
Yeah, call it just X and then lead into that, do a lot of really cool trailers and social. Yeah.
So movie 1 is Racer X, movie 2, Speed Racer, movie 3, The Meetup. Look at this, man. I'm setting the stage. Anybody to want
trilogy.
Yes, we got to do this stuff.
Speed trilogy. Boom. All right, done. We're going to work on that.
We need to work on that.
All right. Here we go. All right, folks, we're wrapping up. If you get bored today on a good side, it's beautiful out here. I don't know what it's like the rest of the world, but let's wait for my 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Go make your sunshine on a stick. You know, it's with a little creepy guy who used to entertain us on Saturday mornings. Hope that was a little bit of nostalgia for you. And we'll be back next week. Not sure what day, but always download us on Spotify, Apple now with video, YouTube, and all your favorite streaming platforms. Join us on mkpcast.com and Facebook as always. Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great day. Boom.